The Middle East is on edge, a powder keg of simmering tensions threatening to explode. Decades of mistrust and proxy conflicts have now erupted into open hostility. As Israel and Iran engage in direct missile exchanges, a dangerous escalation that marks a significant turning point in their long-standing rivalry. The skies are no longer a safe haven. Shattering decades of shadow warfare, where covert operations and indirect confrontations were the norm. Now, the gloves are off, and the conflict is out in the open. For 6 days, air raid sirens and evacuation orders have become the soundtrack of daily life, a constant reminder of the imminent danger. Have become routine in cities like Tehran, forcing residents to seek shelter and disrupting the normal flow of life. And Tel Aviv. The once vibrant cityscapes are now overshadowed by the threat of incoming missiles. The unwritten rules are gone. The established norms of engagement have been abandoned, paving the way for a more unpredictable and dangerous phase of the conflict. Each strike demands a response, fueling a tit-for-tat cycle of violence that threatens to spiral out of control, fueling a dangerous cycle of retaliation. The stakes are higher than ever before, and the potential for miscalculation is immense. The roots run deep political rivalry, a long history of animosity and mistrust that has fueled the conflict for decades. Nuclear ambitions, the pursuit of weapons of mass destruction that adds another layer of complexity and danger to the equation, and a struggle for regional dominance. Both nations are vying for power and influence in the Middle East, further exacerbating the conflict. Now, the violence is immediate, a stark and brutal reality that is impossible to ignore, disrupting daily life and instilling fear across millions. Ordinary citizens are caught in the crossfire, their lives turned upside down by the conflict. The world watches anxiously as leaders and diplomats scramble to find a solution and prevent further escalation. Aware that a full-scale war would engulf the entire region, with devastating consequences for all involved, would have catastrophic global consequences. The ripple effects of a major conflict in the Middle East would be felt around the world. Israel's missile defenses are being pushed to their limits, intercepting a barrage of incoming rockets and missiles, while Iran demonstrates its reach with powerful new weapons, showcasing its military capabilities and sending a clear message to its adversaries. Both sides have shown their willingness to escalate, a dangerous game of brinkmanship that could lead to unforeseen consequences. Will anyone step back from the brink? The question remains whether cooler heads will prevail and a path to de-escalation can be found. The fate of the region hangs in the balance, a precarious situation with far-reaching implications for global peace and security. In Washington, D.C., the situation is tense. President Trump faces a defining moment, a critical juncture that will shape not only U.S. foreign policy, but also the future of the Middle East. The National Security Council convenes, advisors huddle as the U.S. weighs its response to escalating tensions. Every option, from diplomacy to more assertive measures, is being carefully considered. The U.S., Israel's key ally in the region, signals that all options are on the table, emphasizing its unwavering commitment to Israel's security and regional stability. This includes the possibility of military action against Iran's nuclear sites, a measure that would carry significant risks but is deemed necessary by some to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. American warships are on high alert in the region, patrolling strategic waterways, both as a deterrent to further Iranian aggression and a clear show of force, demonstrating the U.S.'s resolve to protect its interests and allies in the Middle East. Diplomats are working tirelessly, pushing for de-escalation through negotiations and international pressure, but time is running out as tensions continue to rise. Any U.S. intervention carries the inherent risk of igniting a wider war, potentially drawing in other regional powers and leading to a protracted and devastating conflict. However, restraint could embolden Iran, allowing it to further advance its nuclear program and expand its influence in the region, challenging the existing balance of power. The world waits with bated breath to see which path the U.S. will ultimately choose, a decision that will have far-reaching consequences. The international community is deeply concerned, watching closely to see what it will mean for global stability, economic markets, and the future of international relations. Beneath the headlines that scream of geopolitical strategies and military maneuvers, millions of civilians are caught in the crossfire, their lives irrevocably altered by forces they can't control. They are the silent sufferers, the unseen casualties of a conflict that engulfs their homes and shatters their peace. In Israel, families rush to shelters as sirens wail, a chilling soundtrack to a reality no one wants to face. The piercing sound is a constant reminder of the imminent danger, forcing families to abandon their homes and seek refuge in the cold, damp shelters. Hospitals move patients underground, transforming into subterranean fortresses of healing, where doctors and nurses work tirelessly to save lives amidst the chaos. And daily routines are upended, replaced by a constant state of alert and uncertainty. The simple act of going to the grocery store or walking to school becomes a perilous journey. Flight cancellations leave citizens stranded abroad, separated from their loved ones and desperately seeking a way back home. While the government scrambles to bring them home, navigating the complex web of international relations and logistical challenges. In Iran, air defenses light up the night sky, a dazzling but terrifying display of technological warfare. And fear grips a city under siege, as people look to the heavens, wondering if they will be next. Economic hardship deepens, as businesses shutter their doors and families struggle to make ends meet. And families face separation and uncertainty, torn apart by borders and conflict, unsure when they will see each other again. Everyday life, work, school, even weddings, becomes a gamble, a fragile moment of joy overshadowed by the looming threat of violence. The true cost of war is paid by ordinary people, the mothers, fathers, sons and daughters who simply want to live in peace, whose lives are shattered by decisions far beyond their control, leaving them displaced, traumatized, and struggling to rebuild. Their stories are a stark reminder of what's at stake, a plea for peace in a world consumed by conflict. The conflict's shockwaves ripple worldwide, spiking oil prices and rattling markets. The threat to the Persian Gulf's shipping lanes fuels fears of global economic turmoil. World leaders urge restraint, but diplomacy races against a relentless cycle of attacks. A single miscalculation could trigger a catastrophic regional war, with humanitarian and economic fallout for all. The stakes are global. This is not a distant crisis. The coming days will shape the future of the Middle East and beyond. The world watches, hoping for peace in a region on the edge.